How's it going, chicks and mates? It's Mr. Mrjacharles, and we're back with the bottom of the well. Now, I mentioned that there was an ending I wanted to try. I'm normal Alice again. I didn't want to do a custom Alice only because I really want to know what this secret ending is, this thing that they keep talking about. I think it has something to do with Chess's sister. And there is one path I did that would make sense, and that's the motorbike. So I'm gonna try that. I think what I'm meant to do is call Chess first? Yeah, I went with Chess to help his sister. Right, so there's that bit. I'll take the stuff I have. So food, radio, map, and flashlight. Or do I need the radio? To be fair, I haven't tried spare clothes or sleeping bag. I think maybe the sister maybe could use the spare clothes. Or maybe one of these two could help me with radiation, so I'm going to take some spare clothes instead. So, where is it? Okay, we decided to try with my acquaintance with the motorcycle. This is what I want to try. I think it might take us to the shelter, but if we can get the motorbike, maybe we can find this guy's sister. I don't think walking's going to work, and we already tried approaching the car, so let's try it. The motorcycle seemed like a good idea at the time, except that when we arrived at this building, the first thing I saw was him outside, prepping his ride together with a group of similarly attired, similarly equipped motorcycle guys. So much for borrowing a motorcycle then. Oh good, this was the wrong way as well. Every way is the wrong way! He recognized me when I approached. He didn't recognize me last time. He looked pretty distracted, packing up the saddle bags on the motorcycle with all kinds of things, but he stopped for a second to talk. Hello, I see you're making an escape. Would you happen to have a spare slot in your escape machine? He said he was headed towards a fallout shelter. When I asked him what he was talking about, he told me there's an old shelter down on 3rd, under the Oh, hold on. Right, this is only an alternate way to get to the bar. Your old hangout, what are the odds? Anyway, he said he could take me, that he knew the owner of the place. Sounds like a good alternative. What did you think? Well, Chess immediately said no thanks. He looked at me. Ah, what did you tell him? Right, I didn't think this would happen. I thought if I could take Chess... Oh, this is the decider one as well. I thought if I could take Chess, do the sister thing. I think the sister's someone significant, but I just don't see how I can get the sister. You know what? Just because it's been bad so far to go with Chess, and the fact that I did kind of leave the bridge bit unconcluded, I'm gonna try and make my way back to the bridge. Oh no. Chess looked disappointed. I tried in vain to argue with him, but he left. Ray shrugged, and a few months later we were all packed up and off he went. The motorcycle was exactly as efficacious as I thought it would be, skimming past the stalled cars and even edging through masses of people. We made it through the fallout shelter in excellent time. When I asked for a motorcycle, I mean he's not going to need it in the shelter, is he? They stashed them very carefully inside the garage of the Red Bar, which was right next to the entrance to the fallout shelter. Ray had the key and locked it tight. He seemed pretty sure we'd get them back after whatever this was had blown over. Point being, no bags for me. The store to the place was in a side alley where the trucks came to load. When we arrived, there was no one else waiting. He knocked, and a moment later, she opened. The bitch queen. Bitch queen? Isn't that a little harsh? Yeah, she's a bitch. Well, I didn't think of her like that at first, no. She saw him first, and she was just so happy. So that was my first experience of her. Just this happy redhead wrapping her arms around Ray, giggling and laughing. In her happiness, she let us all in, me included, without a hitch. What? I can only think this is reflective of the Alice in Wonderland story, because if I recall, the rabbit goes to the queen first, and then Alice comes. So maybe the fact we did it in the right order, according to the story, makes things go better? What? This is a different path. This is more different than I thought it would be. Doesn't sound very bitchy to me. Oh, she showed her true colours when we got in. So here's the thing. The place had the capacity for well over 100 people, but it was practically empty. You see, she was the self-appointed gatekeeper, keeping anyone and everyone she didn't like the look of outside. What the hell? At a time like this? What a bitch! Told you. Still, must have felt good to finally be safe. Was there anyone else that you knew? Yes, I found a few familiar faces. Like? It was good to sit down and talk with someone. Well, the peace didn't last. What happened? Soon after we arrived, a second group came. She started arguing with them, and I could immediately tell she wasn't planning on letting them in. I looked around, but no one else was saying anything. Ray was nowhere in sight. Really? Okay, this is weird because A, the pitch hasn't changed yet. I suppose I expected this bit, but why has Ray disappeared? I'm wondering what would happen if I stayed on the Queen's good side. I'm gonna keep quiet. I know it's a dream, but jeez, what she was doing was just not right. I know, but I was afraid. I didn't want to be thrown out. I understand. Still, it boils my blood. Well, anyway, she and her friends closed the doors and made sure it was kept closed. I really hope whoever was left outside actually left to find another shelter, because when the bomb started to drop... Right, okay, and we're safe. Ah, yes. The bombs. We were all on the ground, down a set of stairs leading to the actual bunker. It was filled with barrels and barrels of beer and other drinks. But at least there was light, for a while. So it actually happened, the nuclear war? Yes. We had a radio with us, and we also had clustered around it. At first I spread... Okay, so this is going back to where it was without Ray. So I'll skip this bit. Okay, so we're back to the bit where the Queen does her thing. I don't see what benefit she's gonna be to me. If I dig her out, I think she's gonna be adamant to stay there. I haven't caused any ruckus yet. And I wonder if there's an alternate ending to if you do nothing with the Queen, act like an ordinary person, and maybe she'll favour you. Personally, I want to go to college, but I've got a feeling the secret ending has something to do with this Queen, because she seems to occur as a major character quite a lot. It's clear skies at the moment, and I think the bombs have already dropped. I might be able to get them out, and I suppose then I could shelter. I haven't done any of them to their own devices yet. I want to see what this does. Are you serious? Hey, you don't get to judge me, dream me anyway. The truth was that there was almost no one down there that gave a damn about me. Very true. I was done with that place. Besides, if I found the government, I'd let them know where to dig. No, they'd be dead. That's terrible, Alice. People down there depended on you, and you just left them? Not cool. If you knew how many times that bitch Queen just left me to it, and I died every time because of her, you wouldn't say the same thing. You weren't there. No, you're right. I mean, neither were you, technically. What did you do next? Right, getting out of town leads to college. I'll go there. What did it look like? The streets, awful, ruined, charred by fire, most of them. Okay, I've done this bit. Alright, so we're back at the bridge. So I went nearby to see what happened. I went downriver to find one. It's clear skies, but the face has changed. Ah, and I'm alone. Okay. That's probably what I get for abandoning her. I'm gonna try and confront them. Because I think I'd be allowed in there. I'm just not sure what's gonna cost me. Brave. You're telling me. I wasn't gonna let them scare me. So, what were they? Just thugs? Part opportunists, part worried townsfolk. They claimed that they were protecting their part of the town from riffraff who were coming down from the city trying to steal all of their uncontaminated food. That this was just a kind of concerned citizens roadblock, conveniently in the way towards the main evacuation center. Yeah, but well, I mean, they had a lot of guns, but I didn't really detect a lot of malice in them. Ha! So they were safe despite you making them, out to be bullies. Didn't seem like they were particularly wanted to use them. Okay, so they're not as bad as I thought they were. So what'd you do? It's dangerous if I try and talk my way through. I'm gonna try and give them food. It could be like, oh, it's contaminated, we'll kill you now. But I feel like using an item in my inventory is gonna help. I opened my backpack and showed them my food, although it felt like a monumentally foolish thing to do. Still, if they wanted to rob me, they had all the guns anyway. Just as I was going through, one of them stopped me and asked if I had any more than that. I knew that they were actually highwaymen. Bastards. I didn't really have a lot of leeway for lying or being creative, not with all the guns around me. The bastard grabbed my pack when I remained quiet, and looked through it. Under the eyes of his boss, he emptied out everything but one day's meager provisions, calling it a bridge tax. Shithead. Is that just one or is that everything? Okay, I've got Winton. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. What a bastard. I'm not surprised. No kidding, I was just hoping I wouldn't need it, and they did let me go afterwards, albeit with a much lighter pack. That's fine. I didn't really use the food much anyway, so I don't see what use it was. What's here? We've been here, haven't we? So the evacuation center. My college. I'm not surprised I dreamed about it. It's like at the center of my life right now. It was still in the dream, a big part of my life. That's why I worked after all. In the college, okay. Is this the part where the dream turns weird and the college starts sprouting legs and begins smoking a hookah or something? Mad Hatter, I know we're in the apocalypse and there's a nuclear fallout, but I think that's a bit too extreme. Fortunately, no. Unfortunately? Why would you think that would help the dream? That would have been a pretty welcome respite. Well, what happened instead? Even so, it must have been a respite. Proof the society survived. The United States weren't completely obliterated, etc, etc. Speaking of, what did happen to everyone? I don't know, everything was still rather hazy. News was sporadic, and often hearsay. There was a lot of talk about a missile defense system that no one knew we even had, that had apparently managed to shoot down something akin to 90% of all the enemy warheads. Wishful thinking. Based on what I was seeing, I don't really see the difference. 10% was clearly more than enough to wreak unimaginable havoc. Hell, 1% would probably have been enough. Anyway, go on, I wanted to get to the end. What happened at the center? At the gates, there was a screening process going on. A big plastic corridor where we were all told to undress and go through the super cold shower. After which, men in gas masks and plastic coverings ran a Geiger counter over us. Seriously? So what happened? There were 2 doors at the end of the corridor, beyond the men in masks with guns. Whenever the Geiger counter counters frazzled and complained, you went right. Whenever it was quiet, you went left. Right, okay, I went left. Ah, we didn't have much radiation on us. After the check, they gave us new threads. Honestly, mostly like prison garb, but at least they were not radioactive. All the old stuff would be disposed of. I think they just gave them to the poor people going right. I saw them through the fence, heading off to God knows where in the old clothes. Many of them too tired, too sick to even walk upright. Okay, so if we went here with radiation on us, I think we would have lost and gone to like a concentration camp. So this is looking good. That's really sick. What just disappeared? Was something there? Oh, whatever. I can't even imagine how many millions of casualties they had to deal with. I suppose this was just them being pragmatic. Anyway, what earthly paradise were you led to then? They had set up shelters for us in the dorms and in some of the lecture halls. Indoors with product protection and daily washing and clean food. We were scheduled to stay there for just a little while, until they could relocate us somewhere safer. It all seemed very organized, in control. Okay, now assuming all the bombs are done, it looks like we're okay. So, was Chestnut's sister there? I doubt it. No. I searched, harboring some vague hope that maybe they'd made it, but no. I suppose it was a long shot anyway. Still, not an unhappy ending, I suppose. Was it the end? No, it wasn't. Oh, what now? Do go on. Did you rebuild society or something? How much longer is this dream? Should we maybe continue tomorrow? Like a part 2 or something? Don't make me, or at least give me a chance to save. Can I even save? No, I can't save. That's nice. No, it's almost over, but this is when it gets weird. Remember that music I heard on the radio before falling asleep? Is this the secret? Yep. So, I was taking a walk between buildings and enjoying the fine weather. Since they had given a fallout all clear, they sprayed the lawns daily and checked them for rats when I heard it again. Kind of like you'll turn the sound of thunder into explosions in a dream? No, or maybe actually yes. That was a quick change. That's not a bad analog. The music was a connection between the dream and the real world. When I heard it, it was like I suddenly remembered that I once had the dream I was currently having. I remember in the dream thinking of how incredibly unlikely that was. It was weird, okay? So now she realizes she's in a dream? Dreams are weird, so the music, where did it come from? It came from the admin building. It's this big place with the rector's office and a bunch of other offices. No teaching spaces, off to the side a bit close to the stadium. I shouldn't have heard it by any means, yet somehow I did. I walked closer, but that building wasn't a part of our turf. The doors were all under lock and key, and there was a fence cutting off the main entrance, but I knew it came from there. Okay, so what did you do? I just knew there was some connection there, some truth hidden in those tunes. Something that would allow me to wake up from this nightmare, because that's what it was, every single aching, painful, awful moment of it. but it was beyond locked doors inside a building presumably filled with men with guns. You got this far, was there really nothing you could do? Well, since I worked out of it, I did happen to know of a smaller security flaw in its construction. Or, it wasn't actually that I would happen to know about it. It was more like I had consciously decided to look for ways to break in when I first started working there. Exactly in order to allow myself to get in when I needed to. I am not sure if that makes any sense. You anti-actively re-remembered in your dream that you had this dream and therefore changed your life in order to have the keys when you had the dream again. Or when it happened in real life. Okay, so now she's lucid. She has more of an omniscient awareness? Exactly. This is the weirdest goddamn dream. And I had a lot of weird dreams. Anyway, what's next? Well, the security flaw was that one of the electronic locks on one of the side doors would actually just open if anything vaguely magnetic was passed over it. So if I borrowed a metal platter from the cafeteria and swiped myself in, it took all 3 seconds. Nice, so you got in. Guards alarms? No, nothing. Just the music, even louder. I followed upstairs to the room of one of the professors of archaeology. What does an archaeologist have to do with Alice in Wonderland? Sure, why not? Specialized in South American history, I believe. Mayan specifically. I was pretty aware that it was possible whoever was in there would just raise the alarm and God knows where they'd throw me then. Maybe in with the sick. But the music, I had no choice. I opened the door. There was a man there. He was sitting behind the professor's desk, feet on the table, bobbing his head to the music. He had a head of white and a thick beard, and was wearing a ratty old band t-shirt and jeans. Around his forehead he had a scarf. When I opened the door, I was greeted with the unmistakable smell of pot. That's nice. Great, he's a druggie. His joint fell out of his mouth when he noticed me. One of the staff? No, but he definitely did not look government either. We stared at each other over the table. After a few moments, he picked up his blunt again, inspecting it for damage. Ascertaining it was fine. He offered it to me. Smoke? Ha ha ha! After all that happened? Hell yes! He offered me a seed and then handed me the joint. He was an older man in his late 60s or early to mid 70s, but still looked sprightly. An old hippie. There was no malice in his eyes. He looked tired and sad mostly. This is pretty weird. Call me Rabbit? He said. Sorry, don't mean to quote directly, but no, actually, I do mean to quote directly. I remember it was so clearly. Wait, so Ray isn't the rabbit? What? Don't let me stop you, Alice. Whoa, follow the white rabbit. I got an achievement. We just quietly shared the blunt for a while, and then he started talking. He had a very pleasant, mellow voice. I fought in the war, you know, Vietnam, he said, taking the joint back and inhaling deeply. I was really good at what I did. Ranger stuff, behind the lines. Nasty, nasty stuff, he frowned. Weirdest dream ever. You sure it wasn't a member of staff? I'm sure. He just continued, ignoring my apparent confusion. When I got back, I was pretty messed up. Everyone hated me, too. I couldn't understand it. I had fought to protect the US. I was supposed to be a hero like my pops before me. But instead, all of these people my age were protesting, burning flags, hating. And I couldn't let go of what I'd done either. He smiled at me, then laughed like it was just some kind of joke. You don't know where this is going, do you? So he was a traumatized war vet. Well, not a vet that looks after pets. You don't have any of those in your family, do you? No, I don't even know any modern war vets. We're very anti-war in my family, but this character... I mean, he was a character like a walking stereotype, but he still felt very real, heavy, present, trying to smoke away his troubles 4 or 5 decades afterwards. Deep scars, and he was right. I was even more confused than when I had come in here. I wonder where you cooked him up then. Seems so oddly anachronistic. This is when he leaned in under the table and took out 2 things. One was safe, one of those small portable ones. This one with a 4-digit pin code. The other was a heavy, ancient-looking 1911 semi-automatic handgun. Yeah, what the hell is he doing? You're drawn to this music, aren't you? He said. The gun and the box just lay there, like he forgot about them the moment he took them out. He continued, well, it's not the music really, it's what's underneath it. Old sounds, older than you'd think, held together by God knows what. Magic, far as I know. My great-great-great-grandpops found it, far down south. That's what my dad said, at least. He used it after his war to help him sleep at night. I'm kind of old, like, Mayan type stuff? Prophecy stuff? I turned it on and holy shit, he wasn't kidding. The dreams it gave you of a future all rosy and beautiful, peace, no war, East and West living in harmony, learning from each other, free love, free drugs, rock and roll. Every night I could fall into this future vision, living a guilt-free life. Some kind of dream time travel device. But his vision sounds pretty utopian. Yeah, he was getting to that. But then one night, it all changed. Instead of waking up to peace and love, I woke up to, well, kinda a version of this. He waved out the window, which had a nice view of the downtown area, still smoking. The bombs had fallen. I panicked. I mean, I had figured out already, it was some kind of prophetic device. But since the future looked so rosy, all I was doing was taking out a bit of it in advance, while the rest of history caught on. Except now something changed. Fascinating. So I did the worst mistake a person can do. I brought it to the govt. Oh wait, he's saying this. Fine, okay. I knew there was no other way to convince them my vision, which I'd had for a solid month straight now, was true. I managed to get to my old buddies in the CIA through my military connections. I set them up by the recorder. I walked them through the vision. They were convinced, and they also knew something about what had caused it, some secret scheme they had all been cooking up, which had clearly backfired. I'm not sure if this explains all the recent history or just the exact opposite. Where is this going? Here's the thing. They would have happily thrown me to the dogs after getting a hold of the thing. But the problem was it had attached to me. Maybe to my bloodline, maybe something else. God knows, I was a dreamer, it showed. Me, my dreams, which granted was the future of mankind, but still, they needed me. So wait, if they could predict things, why didn't they predict 9/11 or the fiasco of the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan? I know you have a lot of other questions, but we don't really have time for those. He glanced at a clock, then picked up the handgun. I tensed. 10 minutes. I was scheduled to wake up, and when I do, everyone else attached to the dream will also wake up, including you. No, you have to ask him about the radio signal. Why was it on public radio? And the box, what's up with the box? I did! And he laughed and said, it's not, it's never been, and it never will be. The recording is locked in the deepest vaults of the Pentagon, for fuck's sake. Sorry, this is getting stupid now. Somewhere next to the Ark of the Covenant and the Holy Grail. What? They run it once a year, in a very controlled environment. You wouldn't believe the controls they have, the secrecy. There is no possible way you could have heard it. That is incredibly unhelpful. He added with a twinkle in his eyes as he lifted up the pistol. Then again, my old grand etc. Pops did reportedly say that he heard it calling him through stone, rock and soil from an unexcavated burial chamber, and my pop said he heard it playing from the attic on the day after his dad's funeral, even though that was just impossible. Maybe it just calls for the next dreamer, when knows the previous one is on his last leg. Shit! Hey, wait, the strongbox. That was the bloody weirdest part. He indicated the box with the gun, then looked at me. I will give you 2 minutes to open this box. If you are the new dreamer, which I think you might be, that shouldn't be a problem for you. And then he just got up to finish the blunt by the window. Maybe I'm with Solid Snake. I don't know what's happened here. What? That makes no sense. How could you possibly know that? What did you do? I tried to open the box. Okay, so 4-digit. That's a lot of possible combinations. 1911! Better than nothing. 1911. Okay. Turn around with number. What? How was I have any chance of hitting the right combo? I gave up. And please tell me he gave you some kind of hint. Well, he said a weird thing. He said, and I quote, once you know the code, you'll never unknow it. And then he laughed like it was the funniest thing. I had no idea how to react to that. And then he brought the gun up to his temple and fired. Holy shit! And then I woke. What? That was quite some dream. I didn't think it was either. So what was it? Prophecy? We're all going to die? No, I think I just saw a test. Maybe with their missile shield. Who knows what they'll use it for? Whatever it is, it's about as top secret as it can get. This is crazy. I'm all starting to believe it. What did he mean by calling us dreamer? I don't know. All I know is that I have to find him again. Rabbit, before they find me. Why would they look for you, and who's they anyway? Because they need a dreamer, but I have this feeling that this is not what the thing was meant for. Rabbit knows it too, there's something else. Oh good, I still need to unlock the box! Something else in manufacturing monstrous future scenarios that may any day come true once they perfect the formula. Whatever else could power be used for? Funny, I don't know yet, but I intend to find out. It almost feels like I've already... Wait. What? Nothing. Just for a second I felt like I heard it again, the music. Like this was one of those decision-making moments that determine my future, as if it will somehow affect a dream I'm going to have had. Careful with your future perfect tense there. Sorry, I just got the feeling things aren't over yet. Oh shit, someone's at the door. Burp. Okay. Alice, are you there? God damn it. Oops. Is she dead? Okay. I found the white rabbit, but I've got to find the code. Alright, well this is going a bit long now. It's been half an hour. And not to mention all the other Let's Plays I've done tonight. But anyway, Bottom of the Well. It's very enigmatic. And I am really getting into the story. It's a bit frustrating having to repeat scenes though. I'm not sure where to find the code. I do want to get back to this game. I think maybe if I interacted with that rabbit again, maybe something different would happen, and maybe he'd tell me the code, then I could go back in and sort something out. I'm not sure. But I'll look at that another time. Not December, maybe sometime soon, or maybe sometime a long time away. But anyway, look out for my book, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Until next time, see ya!